Formation lap commencing.
Fuso starting grid, and you'll see that there was just 9/100ths of a second between James Courtney and Jason Bright after qualifying for race number 27. They'll share the front row of the grid. Row number 2 involves Chaz Mostert and Scott McLaughlin, winners at Queensland Raceway last time out. Then it's Tony D'Alberto, great job in the last race, together with Will Davison, 5 and 6. From 7 and 8, David Reynolds, Mark Larkham just spoke with him, then Garth Tander, damage in the previous race. He's qualified much better for this one. James Moffat, winner yesterday, he's alongside VIP Pet Foods entry Shane Van Gisbergen.
Russell Ingall qualified in 12th spot for this race, but will not take part because of too much damage incurred in race 26 earlier in the day. So all of these guys will move up a spot. David Wall comes off a 10th position in race 26, which is his equal career best. A terrific run. There's Jamie Whincup starting this one from 17th. There's Mark Winterbottom, 3rd in the championship now. He'll have to do this from 19th, the winner of the previous race. Michael Caruso, 2nd yesterday, alongside Rick Kelly. Way further back in the grid, Scott Pye and Tim Slade, 23rd and 24th. Jono Webb and Maro Engel on the second last row. And there's Alex Davison. He was also caught up in that lap 1 incident with Lee Holdsworth, the Irwin racer, from position 28. Big job facing this guy, Mark Winterbottom. That breakthrough win at his home test track finally under his belt, and now he has to go right back into 19th and do it all again.
I reckon that's an understatement, Matty. Big job, monumental job from position 19. However, you go back a few years, Jamie Whincup started 20th in 2007 and won the race.
And back in 2008, Frosty made up 19 spots to finish 2nd. He describes it as one of his most memorable moments in this game. So there's history suggests you can do it. Doesn't say it's going to be easy.
No, not at all. And what an unbelievable game when you can be at the pointy end and win the last race and then start from way down there. I mean, he must be thinking to himself, I just won the last one, why am I back here?
Yeah, there's not much time to soak in it and enjoy it before you start getting whacked around the ears again. It's the nature of the game. You've just got to keep on punching. It's hard to be consistent across all combos. This is Rob Starr looking at the back of him at the moment.
Okay, come on, bit more.
Bringing James Courtney into position. Bright on the other side is David Reynolds.
And as you said before, Mostert and McLaughlin have been hooked together, haven't they?
They have.
They're on the second row alongside each other again.
James Courtney's weekend so far has netted an 8th, a 4th and a pole position in qualifying, and a 5th and a 3rd in race results. It's been a really solid weekend from Courtney. So 27 cars make up race 27's grid. Jason Bright, starting from position 2, will want a much better start this time around. Oh, look at Courtney. He's got the wobbles, but he's got away well. Same for Chaz Mostert, but not for Scott McLaughlin, who's been absolutely swamped. And a car's gone off on the infield there and into the tyre wall.
The Jack Daniels Nissans has gone off there.
Well, that's incredible, from way back in the
That was
field.
Todd Kelly. I'm sure it was Todd Kelly. Jason Bright has gone back to 5th.
Yep, Todd Kelly into the wall.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a car in that area ever.
And yellow flag.
Safety car.
Jason Bright.
The car stopped on the right, just past the start line. Safety car just keep coming through pit lane.
There's race control, and Jason Bright on the radio to his crew immediately saying it just would not hook up off the start at all. So their start problems continue. And look at that damage on the right rear. Todd Kelly's Nissan Altima. Lots of dirt and debris in the front of it as well. So it's whacked the tyre barrier, which is protecting the concrete there. Does this tell more of the story?
Yeah, okay. Got served.
So Lowndes has made contact there with Todd Kelly. Don't know why, or what the details are, but it just pitched it straight onto the grass. Then he can't stop. Does this tell more of the story?
There's the contact.
Yeah, it was Lowndes, I'm sure, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's only...
Yep.
Well,
On the right-hand side of the grid, something's happened over there because they've all tried to get out of the way. Todd's on the left-hand side. Okay, so it's the VIP Pet Foods car.
Might actually be Whincup.
It was Whincup.
One of the Red Bull cars because Craig was further to the front of the field.
Shane Van Gisbergen starting on the right-hand side of the circuit, didn't get away to a good start, and everybody tried to get around him. So this is behind Tony D'Alberto. So all of this is going on behind these guys.
That would have been out of the front of Dave Reynolds' car, probably. And there's Bright, so he's gone from the front row. Oh, there's a big fire here.
And Scott Pye, who's had more than enough dramas in 2013 to this stage. And this is really unusual. Look at the back of that car. It's completely burning up.
Is he out?
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Whoa.
So remember, the fuel cell's in a different position in these cars. New generation cars, the fuel cell's in front of the rear axle centre line, so it's Brett's.
Yeah, guys, Scott Pye is out of the car, and that fire is extinguished now, but it was a big, nasty fire. I might just try and grab a quick word with Scott as he gets out. Scott, how did that happen? What started that?
I think someone hit the exhaust pipe, and coming in pit lane, the car stalled, and I just couldn't breathe and couldn't see a thing, so obviously it was on fire pretty bad, so I just got out as fast as I could.
All right, mate, you out? You okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
It's coming into the pit there.
Ready?
Fuck yeah. Can't start it up, drive it down here.
Are we?
Don't know if it'll be good enough to start, because there's a fair bit of damage. Smoke damage, fire damage, so Scott Pye's going to have to return to the scene of the crime here. This may explain what's happened. So he's coming into pit lane, so he's already been whacked. And look at all the smoke in the cockpit. By this time, he can barely see a thing, let alone breathe properly, so he just parks it over there and jumps out as soon as he can.
Good presence of mind, actually, to do that, because he needed to be able to open the driver's door.
And because it's folded the exhaust down, it's made heat. It's set fire to the composite left rear guard. So the other question here is there damage if it was Whincup, which we suspect it was, that made contact with Todd Kelly? Is there damage on that #1 Red Bull Holden as well? Capping off what's been a pretty evil weekend. And you can see that composite guard that I'm talking about is completely lit up in the left corner of Scott Pye's car. We'll take the opportunity to clean it all up, have a break, sort out what's going on. They're under the control of the Petters STP safety car. James Courtney's in control. We'll be back at Winton shortly.
Straight in.
Okay, safety car, you can lift your speed 120 where it's safe to do so.
Safety car increase to 120 where safe to do so.
Todd Kelly heads back to home base. He'll take no further part in this afternoon's race. The safety car out on the circuit, Leica.
Yeah, Todd Kelly, hard to get a read on exactly what happened there, mate. Could you do it from the driver's seat?
No, the car in front jumped the start by the look for quite a while, and I tried to avoid him a little bit and got quite a good start, and then I got a clip on the right rear wheel which tore all the suspension back and threw me sideways, and then just skated straight into that wall. So not a good start to that race, and the car's a bit second-hand, unfortunately.
Did you get a look at the damage before you got out of the car, or before you come over here?
Yeah, well, it hit the fence quite hard at the front, hard enough to do the radiator, so the front's not good, and the right rear wheel was peeled right under, so I don't think I'll be back out there for this one.
Yeah, so you've got no idea who actually made the initial contact that created it?
No, well, Wincup was up in front of my right, and I'm pretty sure I got a better start from him, and it might have been him, but I don't know whether I've moved over or what happened there, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'd probably stick your head over the fence and just have a look at that car when it goes past, see what colour paint's on the bumper.
Thanks.
This might explain it a bit more.
So let's have a look. There's a jump car. So what he said was David Wall jumped, Prema's slow, and that's the contact there with Wincup. So that's what happened. Wincup had to avoid the Fujitsu car. There was contact between Todd and Wincup. Just checking the front and the damage on that car. I can't really see. It's hard on the dark blue.
Not a scratch.
Yeah. There's a little mark there on the
bull's
red
shoulder.
Bull. Yeah, on the bull's shoulder. You're so specific.
He's got a tear in the leather.
Safety car in the second to last corner. Green flag, green flag.
So James, yes please, let's get moving. James Courtney in control. Chaz Mostert will be tucked in behind him, so a good start from Chaz. Great start from Will Davison, who started 6th and is up to 3rd. Scott McLaughlin, who started in 3rd, he's gone down to 7th. Correction, Scotty started in 4th. So through they go, first time around.
That's a big chase across the road. Moffat sending Fabian Coulthard the long way through.
Car number 21 of David Wall has been given a 10-second time penalty for a false start.
And that's what we saw.
Yep.
It's quite unnerving when you're on the grid and someone flinches, because the automatic response is to flinch with them. You've really got to control yourself. That often upsets the start. D'Alberto runs wide at 7. Big lock up. You can hear the tyres squealing in the background. Might even have a mark on it. So straight ahead he goes there on the dirty stuff, and manages to gather it back up. Great restart, James Courtney. Even by the time they got to turn 2, he had margin.
Fabian Coulthard very aggressive again. From that restart, we saw him on approach now to turn 3.
I spoke to him in the gap, and I'd heard on the radio him talking about too much understeer with that car, and he confirmed that that's what the issue was. It's just not really responding to his liking. But as Mark's pointed out several times this weekend, Fabian's brake technique is different to many of the other drivers in the field, and he just doesn't seem to be having quite the same weekend as Jason Bright for absolute pace at the moment.
So Courtney by 0.8 of a second over Mostert.
And with the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 23.7 for James. He did it on that last lap.
So he needs to be careful, because what we saw in the previous race, remember, was Winterbottom with an early speed, and he come right back to Jason Bright. So you've got to manage your tyres, especially early. If you take the life out of them early, you'll pay the penalty later.
You can hear the voice of Joe Sasso on the radio in my cans talking to Tony D'Alberto, saying come in, because they've got a flat or damaged front right tyre on that car. So he'll be in this lap, we believe. He's struggling.
He needs to not get caught up here with James Moffat, because put both of them out under that scenario. Moffat trying to get down the inside at 9. Sorry, at 10. And got to done down the inside. Not a normal spot there. He got away with it. And as you can see there, Lowndes down there now. That's Joe Sasso on the phone to D'Alberto. He's doing too much of that stuff. He didn't need to run into Lowndes there between those 2 corners.
Yeah, what I reckon's happened, because we've heard other drivers talk about it all weekend. He's run wide at 7. He's got a heap of pickup on the tyre, which fools you into thinking it's a puncture when it's not.
Yeah.
And that's why Joe just said to him, if you think you can press on, do it, because if you stop, you're gone. It's about 40-odd seconds to get through the lane and get out the other side. And clearly it's rocking along at the moment. So it's had some rubbish on the tread face, and that's given a false impression to Tony. Meantime, Courtney's still got 0.9 of a second over Mostert. And this little battle that we're watching here at the moment is for 11th. Lowndes is just in front, and Van Gisbergen is just behind.
This is that phase of the race for Tony D'Alberto where he's got to get back into that rhythm. A little mistake at turn 7, and now Shane Van Gisbergen picks him off as well. So he's got to get back into the rhythm. Tim Blanchard's sweating on the back of Team Highflex. And as you say, there's no point firing into pit lane unless you're absolutely certain, because it's the end of your day if you do.
Didn't hear any of that then, but that was Tony on the radio again.
Copy, Tone. It's your call from in there, mate. If you feel you have to pit, mate, but if you can press on, press on.
The problem is with all that chatter, it's distracting. It's hard to be at your peak speed when all that's going on. There's Prema down the inside of Rick Kelly. That didn't work. Traffic jam behind.
Mark Winterbottom would be thinking, these boys play for keeps down here.
Very antisocial into the field. Courtney's just done a 24.2. Another 0.3 faster again than Mostert.
Oh, Murrow Ingle on the inside of Jonathan Webb. Big spin around and into the fence. No, beautiful save.
He had so much lock on it, Matt, that it actually just kept on turning around. And as it turned around, it kept on missing the fence there. For sure, I thought it was going in. When you were calling it, thought that's actually going to be quite nasty.
Have a look at the loaded side tyre, the deflection, and the lock up on the other side, on the right side, plus a few battle scars on the front from the previous race that we saw from Tony D'Alberto's car. So Courtney's got 1.3 seconds now over Mostert, and continuing to pull away with around about a 10th or 2 in each sector. And there they are at Erebus Motorsport. Ryan Madison on the right, Dave Stewart in the centre, and I think it was Ross Stone on the left-hand side of screen there.
Stevie Johnson standing behind. He'll be in action. It'd be good to have Junior back in the main game for the Pertec Enduro Cup. He's paired up with Murrow Engel.
Making reference to Mark Winterbottom, he started down in 18th, and as a consequence of the first 7 laps, he's down in 21st. He hasn't made any ground at all, the guy that won the previous race. So worries me that they're either giving that car a little tune-up, or he's just got caught up in the battle that has put him back a little bit.
No surprise, the graphic on screen tells you that race control wants to have a look at that little dust up right here at turn 2, under investigation.
There's Wincup, 16th, our championship leader.
Qualifying's everything, isn't it? Just track position is absolutely everything. One of the things that the new car has done in this tightening up of the field and the crazy tight margins is that if you end up even just a whisker behind, out of position, it's so hard to come back. Here it is again in replay. This will actually help them at race control as they look at our slow-mo. This is Jonathan Webb, Murrow Engel, and that's the Benz rotating at turn 2. And how he stayed away from the concrete wall here is a minor miracle.
Just with Steve Johnson now, who's been doing some work with Murrow. And Steve, a change of garage from you out of the traditional family home and into Erebus Motorsport?
Yeah, mate, it's been fantastic. It's I've really been enjoying coming away. I was with Erebus at Queensland Raceway as well, and came down with them this weekend. Basically as part of the team. Staying with them, and it's been it's been sensational. Apart from just doing 20 laps on Friday, and the car was good in the wet, and guys are doing a good job out there. It's pretty hard to get through the field at Winton, so hopefully staying out of trouble. But you can see that it doesn't take much to get involved in something.
Steve, we saw Nissan get a great breakthrough yesterday. Do you think the Mercedes-Benz Erebus team is far off?
No, I don't think so. I think, looking back at the last few race meetings that they've done, obviously Queensland Raceway, Slady was very, very fast. They had top 10 finishes at Townsville as well. Just missing a little bit of the setup here with regard to the tyre, the new tyre in qualifying, but race pace is good. So, I'm thinking that, we're going to come into our own in the endurance races, and I can't wait.
Bring it on, Sid Sandown.
Cheers, thanks, mate.
Stevie Johnson returning to the V8 Supercars at the Wilson Security Sandown 500, and then heading up to Mount Panorama for his 19th start at the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000, as Michael Caruso tries to put a move on Jamie Wincup. That could have been really nasty. James Courtney has control of this race by 1.1 seconds over Chaz Mostert and Will Davison.
close forward, pace on the front, 24 and a half. Right, that's coming held up.
Taking a look around our mega wall here at Winton. James Courtney on track. The leader by 1.3 seconds. Red Bull Racing Australia's salvage operation continues. Mark Dutton counselling Jamie Whincup. Roland Dane back at the front office, and Jeremy Moore also alongside him. And in car, Fabian Coulthard again pushing through in the top 10, while his teammate here, Jason Bright, has a battle going with Garth Tander.
And that's been a phrase that's been used once or twice this year. And remember down in Tasmania earlier in the year at Symonds Plains, they got into a vigorous and pretty heated battle at one stage. They're back in it again, so this is for 4th and 5th. Those fellas are about 3.5 seconds away from the lead of the car race at the moment. So Courtney by 1.3, then Mostert, who's just been told to still take it easy on those tyres and make sure that he gets the bars and brake bias just nice. He's holding station at the moment. In fact, he's matching James's pace, but that cushion got built early and it stayed.
And Mostert, the lead forward, is doing a very, very good job just containing that pace. Will Davison having his best run of the weekend. He's now championship land. Have a look at this. Will Davison is 31 points behind Whincup now, and Craig Lowndes is 41 points behind.
And that's familiar territory too, because we've seen Will have some great battles with his mate Jamie over the years on the track and in the point score, and so that's slowly reigniting as a result of the difficulties that Jamie's had this weekend. So there he is, 16th at the moment, Whincup. He's in behind Dean Fiore and just in front of Michael Caruso. We saw Michael having a nibble at him before. Jamie will be thinking right now, probably wasn't a great idea to come down here last week and help those blokes at Lucas Dumbrell Motorsport, because there's one of them in the way.
Russell Ingall fans, if you weren't with us for the start of this one, the reason why we haven't been calling the enforcer, he's not part of it. Too much damage after the crash on lap 1 of the last race. That Super Cheap Auto couldn't make it through.
Looked at that car as it came off the recovery vehicle and back into the garage. It was hurt. Had a lot of damage around the back of it, so that's quite a big job for them when they get back to their Clayton headquarters.
So Whincup down in 16th. Mark Winterbottom, previous winner, is down in 21st, so he needed to be capitalising on Whincup's shocking weekend. We're on board now with Mark. It's a great shot, the workload around. He's a very busy racetrack. You're very busy when you're in 21st, battling with Tim Slade. this might look reasonably sedate from on board there with Mark, but I can assure you, you are grip limited everywhere. It would be like driving in the wet. Over 220 kilometres an hour, over that little rise, brake the car, slide it into the first corner. The cars are totally traction limited everywhere, leading onto these straights. And even on the way into this corner, the road falls away from you. A lot of understeer, you can see the steering angle there. Again, you can't catch this curve too much. Slade gets a slightly better exit. This is this fantastic sweeper, 2 apexes. Look at the different lines. The guys are on the brakes, the cars are sliding. You've got to make sure you make the second apex. Use the curb now, slow the car up. Don't lock the right-hand front wheel. Get it turned to the apex. Look how much understeer, look how much lock, steering lock that Winterbottom's got. Sacrifice this corner, have a look. We saw before with the telemetry, it was 62 kilometres an hour here. This is the world champion of frustrating corners.
It's very slow, and cars are so big and heavy, it's hard to manipulate them around there. I also just heard that Garth Tander thinks he's got a flat spot on the front tyre. He's currently in 4th position.
Doing really good, your pace is nice. 19 to go.
It's Adam DeBore, engineer for Chaz Mostert, so here he is in position number 2. He's actually got a cushion at the moment over Will Davison.
Hey Neil, a guy sitting down the back of the garage. This is in the DJR garage. Hey Eddie, sorry to bother you there, mate. This is Chaz Mostert's dad, Eddie. Now you must be a proud old man.
Very nervous old man, Marco. Very nervous old man. Yeah, but he does make us very proud, you know. Yeah, words can't describe that really, Larko. But right now I'm a very nervous old man.
No, that's right, you've got nothing to worry about. One thing that strikes me with Chaz, and we get to see a lot of young kids come through, his heartbeat doesn't get up, he stays very cool, he's not rattled, he's got a great demeanour, he's a good style of a kid. You know, from a dad's point of view, it's just not his racecraft, it's all that stuff that's going to make him, I think, a great championship contender.
He's always been a fairly quiet sort of a kid. Things don't faze him too much, Larko. I think he's a bit like his mum that way, you know. She's fairly laid-back people. And just, you know, when it's time to do the business, they just go and do the business. And yeah, he's certainly special to me anyway, Larko.
Good on you, mate. We're very proud of you, the both of you. And I think there's a bit of dad in there somewhere as well. Good on you, Eddie.
Eddie Mostert watching son Chaz here hold down second place. He's already been a winner so far in the V8 Supercar Championship. He'll have to get around James Courtney today to do it again. Welcome back to the Winton 360. About halfway through now, this final race of the weekend. That's David Reynolds, the Bottle O Ford, who's going to scoot around on the the inside here of Scotty McLaughlin and take the position, and then also get another one as the young Kiwi leaves a rooster tail behind. It's the view from out the front of Davey Reynolds' car. And look at Fabian Coulthard go as well.
So that was pretty expensive, wasn't it? A couple of spots there. Just one was just a clean pass, and the other one was just being out of position because another car's under you. There's nothing you can do about it. This is Rick Kelly in 18th position, car number 15, Jack Daniels Racing, and he's chasing Michael Caruso, his Nissan Norton teammate. Oh, that was a little moment at turn 12. And then just in front of him, and this goes to the point we were discussing earlier about qualifying position, it's Jamie Whincup, and he's been having a real battle.
He just said over the radio that he can't stay with Deep Fiore.
Look at this. So a little bit of contact there again between Kelly and Prema. Tim Slade up the inside. Rick Kelly's just giving him a little tickle up from behind.
No, this is going to be bad. Mark Winterbottom just can't believe it. He's saying to himself, how was that previous race versus this? He's still in 21st position. It just shows you the level of competition and track position in this category. They're at the front, had car speed, dominated the race. Extraordinary.
He was driving to a number the last race, wasn't he? I mean, he pretty much had the run of the race to himself, and then had to play cover on a fast approaching Jason Bright. That was his only trouble.
Watch this.
Oh, bumping and
a bit of touch and feel all the way.
There's a bit more on the exit too.
I thought for sure he actually grabbed second gear. He's normally third there.
You talk about how close this championship has been. At the moment, James Courtney is on track to become our 12th different winner this year, which is quite remarkable. But here in the HRT garage at the moment, there's all eyes on James' car. Rob Starr is looking after James Courtney's car. Rob, how's he holding up? He's shown us good pace so far. Can he maintain that?
Yeah, he's pretty comfortable in there. We're trying to maintain the pace to not kill the tyres, and he's comfortable with the pace, and we're just trying to keep dropping the pace back until we maintain the gap and have the tyres in reserve at the end.
You're making a lot of very excited Holden Racing Team fans. This mid-season resurgence has been great.
That's been great, and we hopefully keep this going and bring it into the Enduros.
Good stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
James Courtney's had 6 podiums so far this season. He hasn't won a race for the Holden Racing Team since he joined them and got that first race win in Abu Dhabi back in 2011.
And Rob Starr, a long-time HRT engineer and technician. He was with Craig Lowndes. He was on my car for many years. He's one of the most sound racing people in terms of his understanding of the game, and a very, very good person for James Courtney. He's given him some real balance in terms of his approach to this year.
He dates back to the original team, 1990. In fact, he was on the
other guys are doing 24.9 now. They're doing 24.9.
And that's his voice in the background. And I saw him on the grid at the start of the racing conversation with Wally Story, and they were there together back in the day when Win Percy was there. So he's had a fantastic innings, and it's great to see these guys get it together, and the momentum that's been spoken about this weekend of Courtney's new deal, and they've got some new engineering manoeuvres going on for next year. They're applying it well at the moment. Have a go at the super slow-mo replay and the tyre distortion on the front right-hand corner and right rear corner of that car. James has got a 2.6 second margin at the moment, and he's still just got a very comfortable cushion over the teammate to this man. This is Tim Blanchard.
Wilson Security Racer started 13th, and he's currently in 12th. He qualified 14th, but they all moved up when Russell Ingall's car was taken out of the picture. So Tim Blanchard is on track for his best season result. He has finished top 10 before at Phillip Island in 2011 when he was 6th. But his best so far this year has been 15th.
So boys, a Nissan wins race 25 on the Saturday, the two-parter. And then a Ford wins race 26, and we're potentially on target for a Holden victory with the Holden Racing Team factory entry of James Courtney in this one. So that's a nice mixture.
It's John Blanchard. Tom out of the Blanchard camp. Wilson Security. He's doing a good job, Tim. 26 years of age, first full-time season. He did the last 4 rounds for Toddler in 2012. 2007 Australian Formula Ford champion, and he backed it up with a runner-up in the British Formula Ford Championship in 2008.
Jamie Whitcomb just said over the radio, "I've got no helmet air." It's having a shocking day.
Just watch it. Oh, hang on. No, I don't want to talk to Tim. We're just
Oh.
Oh, no.
This is going to be
Sorry,
bad,
Tim.
Larko.
No, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. No, it's not going to be good.
Oh! Rick Kelly off high-speed contact.
He almost make the other side of the road here. You've got to be real careful not to make it out there. There's the cars on the other side. Gee, that was very lucky. It's done a huge amount of damage. It's dragged stuff off that car everywhere. See the road on the other side, it's not that far.
When you're dealing with that guy.
That's Rick's little rundown of racing with Winterbottom.
So he's perched right in the middle of the venue, off at turn 5, and the danger there, I've seen it happen over the years, is if you get it wrong, the safety car has now been deployed, you can make it all the way to the back straight. So safety car's been quiet, but now it's game on.
There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of guys that are going to pit.
So there'll be people who use this as an opportunity to try and play a little gamble as the field compresses, and if you've got grip, you might make it work for you. Be curious to see who reacts to this. Prema has, so's Tim Slade. They're on this pile in front. So Fiore, Whincup, Prema, Slade.
They might as well. They were down there anyway.
You would, absolutely you would.
So good call from Tim Schenken here, because that car, although it didn't look like it was bad from the sweeper, it was bad from the back straight. So if someone went off the road on the back straight, they would find Rick Kelly's car in the infield. So tyre change there for Whincup.
And despite him having a real struggle, this is a real grip birthday now for Jamie Whincup, and that's actually folded the right rear in on that car, broken the rear suspension in that contact. So this went on for a long time because Larko was trying to get a word in at Ford Performance Racing and he backed out of it, but these guys weren't backing out of it. So Winterbottom and Rick Kelly having a big go at turn 4, and then on and on and on it went. This is the other angle, and then they lock horns. That breaks the right rear suspension on car 15, and then off Rick goes, and he picks the throttle up in one of the rotations here, trying to come out of it. The grass and the mud, that is. There's the first little bit of contact, and then there's secondary contact down this straight.
And when they hit, Neil, they're doing almost 200 kilometres an hour. So that at that point, that's why it's arrowed all the way across. Here they all are. Here's Tander.
Coulthard, Lowndes, McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen and David Wall. They all joined the party in search of tyres. Remember that Whincup is prominent, and he's already done that, so his teammate joins him.
Yeah.
And because these guys have had a shocker...
All right, in a fire behind. There's 2 cars behind us, 2 behind. Thank you, all clear now.
Absolutely the right gamble for them. So Tander's done the same thing. Remember, he had a flat spot on a front tyre anyway. They have to stay to the left of that yellow blend line as they come out of the pit lane. Oh, this has hurt Frosty.
Well, he's gone back behind them, hasn't he? He's further back. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was very close. He was caught between 2 cars. I thought for sure there was going to be contact there with David Wall into the side of Mark Winterbottom. So he got away with that. This is on board. Rick Kelly looking back. Just have a listen for when they make contact. Oh, that hit hard. That's why it's torn the right-hand rear out of it. Look at that.
That's amazing presence of mind from Rick Kelly to control that car. We'll take a break here. And James Courtney leading.
heard it. When Stevie nodded his head, I said, right, set up car 5. Did you hear that? Yes. And we still only took out 2 tyres. The default is 4, always. So that's what we discussed. So anyway, look, it doesn't matter. It hasn't cost us any time or anything, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't cost us anything. We've done the stop. Back at Winton, where the game has changed completely now. James Courtney had a 3-second lead over Chaz Mostert before that incident involving Mark Winterbottom and Rick Kelly, which will be investigated post-race. That, of course, has been whittled down. Half the field has come in and put new tyres on. Wow, that's a big one.
And that'll be one that they need to study. Steering traces, throttle position, speed, track proximity, all the angles. They've got the V8 Supercar onboard camera as well to look at all of that, marry the information together. It's ripped the whole right-hand rear corner out of the car. Remember, that's 2 Jack Daniels cars with big damage now prior to the Wilson Security Sandown 500. Set now for a green flag start for a restart, sprint to the end. Now it's a race within a race because the key runners didn't stop, including Courtney, Mostert, Davison, etc. The best placed guy in the field that has fresh tyres is Coulthard. He's 13th. And he's got brand new Dunlop softs, so he'll be a rocket. So watch for Fabian, and then a whole bunch of guys behind him, including Tander and Lowndes, Whincup, etc. They've all got rubber. Can they get to Courtney? And it's about 5 seconds, the margin. And there is Fabian. He's behind Alex Davison at the moment. And the margin from him to the leader is about 5 seconds. That'll keep on extending a bit in this opening lap until it all cleans up and they find their feet. There was the halo of that jump start penalty hanging over David Wall as well, which we forgot to mention earlier. So this would be weird because there are going to be some cars all gripped up, like Garth Tander's, and other cars that are trying to nurse to the end, which will make big speed disparity. And often what happens here is it creates aggression, guys start muscling, and then it ends in aggravation.
So Tander and Coulthard have already got past Lee Holdsworth.
Yeah. I.e.
said aggravation.
Exhibit A.
Yes, I rest my case.
Coulthard, that was a good pass on Davison then. So that's got another spot for him. He's up to 12. He's actually will be 11th when this is sanitised. There's Lowndes. Good move down the inside.
Into the back of Lee Holdsworth.
Yeah, that was a return of serve.
Mate, laps to go.
Oh, Prema and Whincup side by side.
Oh, it's not a nice place to be on the outside at 1. And Jamie knows that, so he just drops out of that. But he's between 2 of those Fujitsu cars there at the moment. And he's going to have to chase McLaughlin across the road because Scott's having a look up the inside and we've got more strife here. I think there's another car off. This one's down at turn 11.
Yellow flags are being waved. The safety car is being called upon, and that's the reason why Jason Bright out of the picture.
Now, he was in that battle with Will Davison.
I went to pass him, but I got my foot jammed, and it just was a mess. Sorry.
It is a mess. Quick break while we're under safety car.
back in the car if you want, mate. Have a lunch.
Can you get out of there, mate, or they just put you somewhere you can't get out of?
Yelled at him, I tried. The instructions were Tim and to bury me against the wall. It's just crap. When they park me, I'm trying to get out. So muddy, I can't tell you how deep this mud is, so it doesn't please us now. What a wanker. He could have dragged me onto the track just as easy, I reckon.
Pedal, please.
Okay, safety car, lift your speed to 80, lift your speed to 80.
Safety car increasing speed to 80.
Interruptions have been the order of the day for this one anyway. The final race of the Winton 360 with James Courtney in control. The STP Pettis safety car still out there, courtesy of Jason Bright's exit. Jason Bright won't be classified, so he'll end the day without any points. Both Rick and Todd Kelly involved in big incidents. It's in pit lane. Oh, Bradley Jones just getting caught up.
Ouch.
Yeah, that would have hurt on the rear wing. So one of the big questions is that the half of the field that came in...
Safety car received at 80 kilometres an hour.
...in the last safety car period and took the gamble to put on fresh tyres in the hope that they'd have enough laps to start picking through the field. Well, the laps are evaporating.
Okay, safety car, 80 kilometres an hour, 80 kilometres an hour.
It's a very important restart for young Chaz Mostert. He's done a good job.
22 to maintain speed, 22 to maintain speed.
Other guy that's really notable in the top 10 is the teammate to this man that we can see on screen. So we're looking at the moment at Chaz Mostert from the back of James Courtney's car, but the Wilson Security entry car 17 of Tim Blanchard, he's 6th. This, if he stays in that sort of position, I don't even need to look at the paperwork. I know it's absolutely the best of the season and the best of his V8 supercar main game career. So this has been a terrific performance. He's really, and indeed Tony D'Alberto right behind him's had a strong weekend too. So well done, boys.
James Courtney wastes no time. Fires away like a rocket.
Yeah, Chaz shadows him better this time. Remember last time there was about a 1.5 second gap almost instantly.
James Moffat's done a great job again today, up into 5th position.
He's racing really well. He seems to have just found that nice knack now of knowing when to hold, when to fold. So, you know, he's playing an aggressive game, but he's making ground.
Van Gisbergen's on the fresher tyres. Alex Davison didn't stop, so his tyres are much older. So look for Shane Van Gisbergen and those behind him to start moving through the field. As I mentioned, though, the big question for them is, are there enough laps for them to make a dent? They'll certainly start to move up Can they start to rattle the top 10? Fabian Coulthard on the inside of Tony D'Alberto. So Fabian up to 7th.
And at this stage, the clock won't intervene, so the race will run its full distance, provided they stay green.
Garth Tander got right around the outside of Michael Caruso there at turn 8 on fresh tyres.
Caruso hadn't stopped. Big grip birthday helps there.
Fabian's done a great job with that dive down the inside of D'Alberto, so that puts him into 7th. So he come back out after the first safety car, or the change of tyres from the safety car, 13th. So he's gained 6 positions. Now Lowndes, also on fresh tyres, down the inside of Webb, across the curb, bounces his way through there. This will be lively when they get down to the braking area, because he's not significantly ahead of his teammate there, and he gets down the inside there. Whincup, good move.
This is really critical for Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes to get as many points as they can. Mark Winterbottom.
Just in the war zone there, they had a problem in their stop. We saw him hesitant coming out, but I believe they only got 2 of the what should have been 4 tyres, and Webby off the road down there in the Darrell Lee entry. So Jonathan Webb was really in strife there before. He was getting out of sequence with those that he was racing. He was ending up wide and on the dirty line, and that's obviously made those tyres pretty ordinary, and he's in strife.
Gee, look at Fabian. He's really making ground now.
And so's Tander, who's just done the fastest first sector in the race. And these guys, Fabian's 6th, Tander's 8th.
Have a look just up ahead. Look at the drama with Prema and Whincup, McLaughlin.
And that was on board with Winterbottom, who's 20th. Dean Fiore just in front of him. Look at this, the push and shove here, because Prema and Lowndes are locking horns. Whincup's in there as well. These guys are 13, 14, 15 at the moment.
Gap at the front, 1.5 seconds between Courtney and Mostert. Garth Tander just did the fastest lap of the race, but Shane Van Gisbergen bettered it. A 1:23.73 is now the quickest lap.
Tander's just marching forward with that grip. He's really using it well. So is Fabian. It's 4th. That's David Reynolds that he's just checked off there. He's mowing them down. So there he goes into the distance in the Lockwood entry on the run to turn 5 for Fabian. Position 4 next. In the goal, and off the road goes Davison. So I was about to say next in the queue is Will. He has a big bobble and flies across the road and rejoins. Now he can redress because he can't stay where he is there now.
I'm back on.
So he's got to organise himself now to slow up and put himself back in that position again.
You should be there, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll drop back in behind Mostert.
A bit lucky with the way the conditions are in the infield that he's even able to pop out the other side.
So he's got to keep the pace up. So here we go. Got to, at this corner now, the smart thing to do is just let Chaz sneak across in front and hook straight on behind, which is exactly what he does.
You've got to be careful. There are those that think that when you drop back into your existing spot, you've still actually made an advantage, but they can argue that later. There was something on the road there. That was the reason why he flew off.
He complained of oil or something greasy on the track straight away.
And Neil's point's 100% correct, where there's a line of thought that if you're off the road, then you've already disadvantaged yourself. You shouldn't come back on in the same position. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the race, because Fabian has made a huge amount of ground even in that last half a lap. This will get Fabian Coulthard onto the podium. He gets up the inside. This is a fast section of road. We've seen some drama there already. This is the sweeper. So next in line is Mostert.
And so at the moment, it's 3 seconds between this man on screen in car 14 and the race leader, James Courtney. He's got pace at the moment. There's the leader, Courtney, disappearing out of the left side of frame. There's 3rd place. It was an easy get in terms of getting Will Davison, who just backed off and stayed high on the run to 5. So the next man in the queue, and he'll do it easily, will be Chaz Mostert. Is there enough time, and is the air gap small enough for Fabian to be able to get James Courtney? The strategy game playing off. Brad Jones Racing, they brought him in, stuck him on brand new Dunlop soft tyres and launched him. The safety car intervened, but it's a great little story. What a script.
Here we go. He'll try to get a good run on the exit here. Put himself in the right position for the braking manoeuvre at turn 1. There's Tander going by Will Davison in the background.
This is looking at the rear of Chaz Mostert's car as Fabian Coulthard closes in down at turn 1 on the last lap of this race. He's charging through the field, already on the podium. How far can he go? Up to turn 3. Chaz holds him off.
And Fabian's 2.9 seconds behind Courtney. I don't think he's going to get him. It'll be a big job to even get Chaz. The opportunity for him exists on the run into turn 7. They'll do 5, the sweeper, and the little jink to the right at 6, and then there might be an air gap up the inside into 7 if Chaz has a slide. He'll try and go up the inside. He does.
Got it.
Nails it.
Good move. Good move. Now what he's got to do, Chaz, is don't get caught up too much with Fabian because Tander's coming.
And he'll have a nibble down at turn 10 or 11, Tander, because he's got the fresh rubber as well. So off goes Fabian Coulthard. I don't think he's going to get to Courtney, but here comes Courtney's teammate Garth Tander on the outside at turn 10 for the long way round.
Garth Tander trying to make it 2 HRT cars on the podium. Mostert tries to hold him off. Tander goes around and looks at the switchback on the inside. They're fresher tyres on car number 2. He's going to have to muscle it, but that's a great victory for James Courtney.
Awesome, guys. Awesome.
Coulthard second and Mostert holds off Tander for 3rd.
Mate, well done, T3. That was awesome. Well done. Awesome. Really good.
His first race win in 2 years, James Courtney, the second in his time at the Holden Racing Team, and that's a good way to celebrate locking up a new contract to stay with HRT for a few more years yet. James Courtney, again, a winner at Winton. He won here both days en route to his championship in 2010. And what a great finale to the Winton 360 that has really seen it all. Our first Nissan winner, Mark Winterbottom, on the top step of the podium for the first time at this track, and now Courtney breaks through for his first win, and big dramas here. His first win in 2013, that is. Big dramas here for the Norton Hornet of Michael Caruso. We'll get to the bottom of that. The other Nissan of James Moffat has finished inside the top 10. So he started from pole position, James, and now he can celebrate this one.
Hello, James, are you there? How's the man smart? Goodness me. Got to say what a great job Chaz Mostert, because he had to fight like crazy in those last couple of corners with Garth with basically brand new tyres and a big pile of grip, and it'd be very easy to lose your cool and be forced off the road or make a big mistake in that kind of a battle, and he hung on for that 3rd place. That was an outstanding bit of discipline and a great bit of driving.
It's the 10th victory of James's career, and that makes it 12 different race winners, 27 races of this championship. Fabian Coulthard, that was a great ride that he took us on at the back end of this race to charge through the field. And Chaz Mostert absolutely spent. He had one of the very best in the business hunting him down. Look at him, he's out of it. But another podium for Chaz coming off that breakthrough weekend at Ipswich. Looking further through the 10, you mentioned Tim Blanchard. So up to 9th for Tim, that's a season best. So 2 Wilson Security forwards inside the top 10. Craig Lowndes ends up rounding out the 10 after starting from position 12.
47 points now to Craig Lowndes, 55 to Will Davison. So what a championship we've got unfolding.
He's back and firing. So he joins his teammate Garth Tander as a winner this season.
was a very composed run from James Courtney and a very aggressive run for what must have felt so good for Fabian Coulthard to get those new tyres on and rip through the field.
Cheers, man.
Well, James Courtney, congratulations on a milestone, your 10th career race win. Well done.
Yeah, I should have a lot more than that, but no, it's the guys did a fantastic job today. The car was magic. All day didn't get the best start in the first one this morning, but go from pole to a win, it's fantastic. I just wish Kaz and the kids were here, but no, everyone at Holden's done a fantastic job, and that monkey's off our back now, and HRT definitely have to say they're back, so it's fantastic.
And you're back in the championship race. You're up to 6th in the championship.
Bingo. So, no, that's all good news. Thanks everyone for watching and coming out here today. It was a great race, and I'm stoked. I don't know what to say.
It's been a great weekend. Enjoy the podium, JC. Well done.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
And what a tremendous drive by Fabian Coulthard. Fabian, congratulations. It's as though you dropped out of the sky into second spot. That was a tremendous run by you.
Yeah, look, it was awesome. Credit to my guys in the pit stop. I was able to jump Garth, and I had Lownsy right behind me. So, those boys did the hard work. They put 4 fresh tyres on for me. But thanks to the guys at BJR, Lockwood, all our fantastic sponsors, all you guys for coming out. It's been not a bad day.
Fabian, you just have a way of getting it done at this track, don't you, your team?
Yeah, look, if Bridie had a fantastic run here this weekend, and unfortunately what happened to him's a bit of a bugger. But we did it for BJR. We were on the podium, every race. So it's credit to everyone.
Good on you, Fabian. Well done.
Yeah.
And Chaz Mostert, wow. We spoke earlier today about consistency, and that meant finishing on podiums for more than 1 or 2 races a year, and you're getting it done, and you're getting it done with Garth Tander hot on your tail.
Yeah, those guys had a bit better tyre life at the end of the day, but so thankful to the guys at DJR to give me the car to get on the podium, and we didn't think after the first 2 races we'd be on here, but thank God we're here.
How tough was that having Garth Tander tracking you down?
I'd have a Bathurst winner breathing down your neck's pretty daunting for a young rookie, but I tried to last lap give Fabian room because I knew I wasn't going to keep him for half a lap, but I thought I might have a chance with Tander for the last half, so we drilled it out, and luckily we got there.
Chaz, you were fantastic today. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So Chaz Mostert on the podium for the second time now. Fabian Coulthard has now made it 10 podiums and 20 top 10 finishes. And Garth Tander so close to joining them. Craig Lowndes in 10th, go midfield. So Jamie Whincup ends up in 13th. We'll check in on those points championship-wise for you in a moment. Mark Winterbottom 17th after winning the previous race. DNFs for Michael Caruso, Jason Bright, Rick and Todd Kelly, and Scott Pye, who tweeted earlier, any luck would be nice. Doesn't have to be much, just any luck this season. Russell Ingall didn't make it to the start, Larko.
Down here with Will Davidson, a little bit frustrated. Position 6, still a good effort, mate, but I just sense frustration from you. Obviously the spearing off, but just overall.
Yeah, I mean, we're just having, been a confusing weekend with, with one set of tyres on the car does one thing, the next it does another, and it's just been confusing because we didn't touch the car yesterday from leg 1 to leg 2, and it went from poor to very good. Haven't touched the car much overnight, and there's nothing like it was in the second leg of yesterday's race. So it was frustrating. We probably should have made a change after the first race today because I wasn't happy with it at all then. But the set of tyres going on with the set I was happier with in qualifying. So it was not bad. We're on for a podium possibly there, but obviously the safety car spiced things up. That sort of thing's good for racing, but when you're on the raw end of it, it peeves you off a little bit. And I was hanging for a safety car in the first race this morning because we probably would have come in and done that strategy, but it was a bit too risky for us then, but paid off for those 3 guys that nipped me there in the last 2 laps.
All right, mate, we look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Yeah, points-wise, it's been a good weekend. It's on. It's exciting to see the points right now, knowing we're going to the Enduros, and that was my goal for the weekend, to come out within striking distance for the Enduros, and that's where we've got to hit it and hit it hard, and that's where it's going to be won. So I've survived Winton with good points, and let's go. The big stuff starts now.
Can see you're enthusiastic. Can't wait. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, bring on Sandown and Bathurst and Gold Coast, the Pertec Enduro Cup. So the all-important championship points now as we head into the endurance season. 47 points is the difference between first and second. 55 the difference between first and third. Mark Winterbottom is well and truly in this. Fabian Coulthard now 138 points adrift. James Courtney moves up the list. This championship battle of 2013 is quite extraordinary. Time now for the podium.
Seventh race of our year, the V8 Supercars Winton Motor Raceway 360. Would you please congratulate in first place for the Holden Racing team, James Courtney. In second place for Lockwood Racing, Fabian Coulthard. And in third place for Wilson Security Racing, Chaz Mostert. Representing the winning team, Holden Racing team, is Rob Starr. Making the presentation of the third place trophy is Shane Howard, the Chief Operating Officer, V8 Supercars. Presenting the second place is Richard Weston, the President, Benalla Auto Club. Making the presentation to our winning team is Kyle Bullock, the Digital Manager, Red Bull Australia. And presenting the first place trophy is the member for Benalla, Dr. Bill Sykes. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 V8 Supercars Winton Motor Raceway Race 27 winners.
Holden Racing Team gets its second victory of 2013. James Courtney gets his first, and he joins Bob Jane and Colin Bond as 10-time race winners in the Australian Touring Car Championship of V8 Supercars. And Robbie Starr is enjoying this champagne shower